What's up, everybody? This is Jared Shoemaker, CEO here. We got our second ever CrossFAT podcast. So we're just coming off of 20-2. I think we saw a lot of really, really interesting things, a lot of intense competition. We were so close between first to fifth. Honestly, we were all within a 10 to 20 second window there. And that was a lot different than looking back at 20-1, where we had more of a big gap where Chris kind of took it away in the 3-minute range. And then you're looking at second place with in the 8 minutes. And then everybody else was falling somewhere between 16 to 20 minutes with and then Zach taking away in the scaled champions. So a couple things. We got some special guests today. As always, I'm on with the COO, Brady Percumpus. Brady, how you doing?
Hey, doing well. What's up, CrossFAT Nation? Calling in from Seattle. Just coming off 20-2. I think my insulin levels are just now getting back to normal.
Awesome. And on top of that, we've got two very special guests today. We got my special advisor, Jason Kennedy, aka Fur Daddy, as you guys know him. And then we also got Fur Daddy, what's up? He's over there barking, and we got Zach Triple L Linton on the line. You got him?
Hey, what's up, CrossFAT? At Zach Linton here, aka Light, Lean, and Lethal.
What's up, Zach? We're so happy to have both of you on. I think today we just kind of want to talk about. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. So first, let's go with Zach. You went non-dairy. Wow, that was a move. What kind of got you to that point?
So that's a good question. So my wife will tell you that sometimes when I eat dairy products, it can cause adverse effects on my body. So I figured, I'm going to be eating a pint, 16 ounces of, heavy dairy. So I figured, why not make it a little easier on everyone in the house? So I went with the almond milk because it's supposed to be easier to digest. And I don't know if that worked out for me because it was not ice cream. I mean, it was in the term of ice cream, but it just didn't taste right.
So do you think, speaking to maybe some of our other lactose intolerant competitors out there, would you say just risk it for the biscuit, or would you go non-dairy again if we do run into another dairy-based dessert challenge?
I would say risk it for the biscuit, but also I want to give a shout out to Lactaid. They are a product that you take with dairy products that helps mitigate the consequences of dairy. They reached out to me after the challenge and asked if I'd like to work with them in the future, and I said absolutely.
And that's really cool, and that's another thing that I think makes CrossFAT so special is, we got ways to mitigate it, but we're also got people willing to kind of put it all on the line to take home a championship. So I'm glad that maybe we got somebody else on board there. Lactaid, great sponsor. I think that's going to line perfectly with what we do, because we're going to see. I don't want to speak, without giving anything away. You're going to see some cheeses, obviously, in the future. We're not getting away from cheese, just in general, and that can come in a lot of forms. So Fur Daddy, how about you? You went with a pretty standard approach with a port wine accompaniment. How did your 20-2 experience feel?
Yeah, in retrospect, I'm a little disappointed with myself. So in talking with you, Jared, earlier in the week, or like a week before, you did a little warm up where you just kind of casually ate a pint. You said you finished it in like 11 minutes. And so I took a sort of a casual approach to it where, I really went hard in the paint with the hot dogs with 20-1 and kind of, hit my limiter on about dog 4 or 5. So I was cautious to not, just overdo it on this one. And next thing I knew, I was done in like 6 minutes. And then I was like, damn, I probably could have, at least about halfway through the pint, could have really turned up the dial and gotten a sub 6, maybe down the low 5s or so. I liked my peanut butter dough choice. It was one I've never had before. So I was actually surprised as soon as I opened it up to see that it was essentially chocolate ice cream with like chunks of peanut butter dough. But it was really good, and I definitely either could have resubmitted or just pushed myself a little harder there. So that's the tough part with some of these, where if it's not a food group that you eat often, like I consumed 100 or maybe 1,000% more ice cream in one sitting over the weekend than I do in like a year combined. So because I'm kind of weird, like I get hungry for more main course than I do for like desserts, as I've largely cut sugar out of my diet when I can. So, but one thing, and I didn't highlight it in the video, I was a little embarrassed to do it, but I went with like the light version of the ice cream. So all the sugar and calories and everything was cut in half. So
Wow.
So that I was happy about, and
yeah, you were within the rules. So
yeah, we didn't say that. I mean, we didn't say anything about non-dairy or going light. So
I think it was smart moves.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. But yeah, I think that was a really fun challenge that had a lot of people hyped up, and those are good ones.
So something interesting me and Brady were talking about earlier as we were prepping for our board meeting is kind of how you two were some of our first to submit this time, and how that's a little bit of a disadvantage, and how Chris, the defending champ, he's last to submit, so he knows kind of what he has to do going into it, and I think that all plays a factor. So,
with Chris, and then Jared Woislaw and Matt Wagner, yourself as well. There was a number of folks who got in the sub 4 area, and if I went towards the end, knowing that multiple people of different varying body types and age groups can do a sub 4, then I would have had a little more confidence probably to push myself, because the only time I had to go off of was your sort of casual like 11 minutes. So I felt really good with a 6:13, and then when like 4 submissions came in of mid 3 range, I was pretty surprised, and I definitely in reflection could have gone a little faster and done a little better there.
Yeah, and you weren't alone. So Brady, funny story about Brady's submission is you kind of some behind the scenes stuff here. So Brady actually did this challenge twice. So the first time Brady did this, he left his freezer door open overnight, so the ice cream melted. He had to refreeze it, and then he ate it, but he forgot to film it. So obviously the COO, we can't not have his submission. So he had to bite the bullet and then go back a day later and redo this thing.
Yep, my 22 was, I got so busy, running operations for the company, I forgot about, actually focusing on my own submission. There was an incident with the freezer. And really did not want to do it the next day, but I had to do it for the team and show the fans that, even leadership's getting involved. And I was actually jealous of your guys' choice going with light and dairy. Like, I really thought, I wish I would have done that, because, man, that cookie dough and that heavy cream, I was just feeling that the whole way. It was, it was slowing me down quite a bit. So, yeah, way to good on you guys for looking where you can find an edge in the rules. And I did come up with one idea to wear like a sock hat, and I had a cup of hot coffee, trying to maybe consider, cutting down some of the brain freeze, but it didn't really. Brain freeze wasn't the issue. It was just a lot of cookie dough and a lot of hope, but not a lot of results. So,
I think Brady makes a great point. The ice cream selection was absolutely critical. I know he mentioned the cookie dough chunks. In my ice cream, I had what felt like shards of chocolate, and with the near 0 degree temperature, it literally felt like shards of glass. And the next morning, I woke up and I have a cut in my mouth from where it was so cold, but I was chewing so fast that the chocolate actually cut my mouth. So, I think it's important to highlight, that this is not necessarily a safe sport. There's some risk involved in competitive eating.
Yeah, and it's huge that we actually have on the staff a medical professional to advise going forward. And although I'm not a medical professional myself, one of the things, and maybe this circles back to the rule interpretation, what define, so the rule said it had to be frozen like. Well, define frozen like, did it need to be 0 degrees? Could it have, because 32 degrees is freezing, right? So, or at least for water. And, there's definitely some nuances, I think, with the challenges that, as we get deeper in this and folks get a little more comfortable with these challenges, I think we'll start to see better and better times as folks find some efficiencies and just start looking, for some angles that don't violate the rules, but give an advantage at the same time.
Zach, that was really something, man. Going 0 degrees. I could not get over that. And
I just got a chill down my back.
And
it was cold.
And luckily I had a digital thermometer, and I went in. I had that going in, like, I'm not eating this until I get in at least a single bit, at least get in the 5s to 7. And I think for me, I love Ben & Jerry's. I love cookie dough. So I was going to enjoy this thing no matter what. And I found that once you get through that first third, which is just brutal and freezing cold, and you can't believe how cold it is, then it gets a little easier after that. Cause I'm on like minute 2 and I'm thinking this is going to take me 6 minutes. There's no way. And then you kind of find a second wind. I think you just go numb. Whole body goes numb. I know, Brady, you said you were struggling with a big chunk of cookie dough.
Yeah, I didn't, I think you guys, you almost get this adrenaline going, the competitive edge takes over. I never had that boost, and, just satisfied that I was able to do it. Usually I have to do scaled challenges. Most of you guys know, even though I'm a big guy, I'm not kind of a slower eater. But was really impressed and happy to see like such a close field. Top 5 within 30 seconds of each other. I really hope that keeps up, and I'm sure it will. So that's really exciting for the future.
So there's a reason I actually called. Wanted to have Zach and Jason both on today. You guys are both. So far in 20-1 and 20-, you've been really similar in your times, and I think your approaches. So I wanted to ask formally in front of all of CrossFat Nation if you guys would be willing to do a special live head-to-head event next week as the first 2 to go.
Yeah, I'm on board.
I'm 100% on board. I reached out to my manager today, and I think he's going to be in contact with you to kind of set up what I think should be some of the ground rules. He hasn't accepted my offer yet, but I'm hoping to hear back from him by tomorrow.
Okay. and we'll definitely make sure that we get all that finalized. So just want to get some admin stuff out of the way. So we are building our board, right? So I just want to make sure I recognize everybody. So recently, so you got me, we got Jason, special advisor. We have Brady running operations. We got Liz Solon, direct VP of creative. We've got Vanessa Papa. She's the VP of production. And we got Kelly Collins, our medical advisor and our outreach. And she's done some really fantastic work with helping to grow the page. So we are looking to fill a chief legal position and a chief and VP of marketing. So that's out there, and we'll make an announcement about that. But that doesn't mean we're not going to run through the legal framework. Also, Brady, I know that's something every time we deal with Chris, we got to go through all the hoops to get him on because he's got sponsors, he's got agents, and it's just working with him. I mean, I love the guy, but man, it is.
Oh, he's a diva, man. Once those athletes reach a certain level, they become pretty hard to work with.
So, CrossFat Nation, you heard it. Next week, we are going to drop the event at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we're looking to do shortly right after that, just continue the live event with pending contracts with Jason and Zach going live head-to-head in the first ever day of announcement and event. So be on the lookout for that. We're going to have some serious promo stuff coming your way.
I don't want to lift my skirt too early, but there could be for the first, truly the first time in CrossFat, there could be some animal involvement in this upcoming challenge. So.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
I don't even know what to say.
Don't you mean the first? Is this going to be a live animal involvement? Because we've had some dead animals involved.
Yes. Well, yes.
Well, let's keep everything kosher here as we.
Yeah, there will be live animals as athletes participating.
Hey, remember, CrossFit Nation, we love our pets here. We do, and I made the announcement before. The only thing is, if you try and slide the pet any portion of the actual food part of the competition, that's an automatic DQ because then you're getting assistance, and this is an individual event. So, but other than that, we want them. We want to see them at events. Have your dogs, have your cats, your ferrets, your peacocks, whatever you got. Have them pop up. Have them on your shoulder. We want to see them in the videos, and that's just really special to us. So, I know you guys got some stuff going on tonight. We got the Democratic debate here in the next 6 minutes. So, and we got to wrap up this board meeting, Jason and Brady. So I think we're gonna maybe bring this to a close. But I know I'm personally so excited for what the future holds, and especially for this next event, the 4x6 event. And that's all we're saying about that. Brady, got anything to say?
Yeah, I'm super excited. This is going to be the biggest event we've had. A release followed by a showdown should be pretty great. So looking forward to it.
Zach?
Hey, yeah. So really looking forward to this live event. CrossFat Nation, be on the lookout. I'm going to start releasing what I hope is going to be a daily training video of me eating and preparing for this event. Just kind of take you through my mindset of how I'm going to get my mind, body, jaw muscles, and stomach in top fighting condition for this event. So very excited for this.
Wow, that is special. Okay, I know I don't speak. I don't just speak for myself when I say we're looking forward to that. And Mr. Daddy.
Yeah, my sources actually are telling me that Triple L, may get reached out to by L3 Communications. They really like the 3Ls, and really want to probably be involved. So just to all of our fan base and everybody, make sure when you do your videos, just tag your sponsors. We're taking a shotgun approach here as we hopefully something will stick with a major retailer, major brand. We'll take some more targeted approaches in the future, but continue to shout out to your sponsors or hopeful sponsors. And I look forward. I don't really view the head-to-head with Zach as like an MMA match. I view it more as a friendly. And it's going to be hard to not just want to stand there and watch him do his process, because his creative process is really beautiful to watch. So how I'm going to that's the competition right there, is how I'm going to balance crushing my food items while not just falling prey to gazing at him as he goes through his process. So I'm looking forward to it, and we'll see you out there.
All right, hey, and Liz and Vanessa, if you're listening, you got your work cut out for you. Getting this thing out there for the people to see, getting the marketing out there, and making this thing happen. So, all right, guys. So we will we'll do this again next week, and we'll also remember 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Wednesday. We'll start this event with the live announcement, followed immediately after with the live head-to-head by Jason Kennedy, aka Fur Daddy, and Zach Triple L Linton, the kid, the chosen one, the Ardennes monster. So, all right.